Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of Totally Overlooked Games That Are Worth a Damn. Today I'm gonna take in examination a game that was released in 2013, an FPS produced by Ubisoft, Call of Juarez, Gunslinger. It's a game that was released after a long series of titles in the Call of Juarez franchise, which weren't very good at all, especially the previous one. It was absolutely terrible when they tried to move the franchise to the modern days. It was quite of a surprise that this title was actually really nice. The game is an FPS, single player, very narrative focused, with a very cartoon look, not very realistic looking, but definitely pleasant, with a very clean graphic and very clean approach to the game. It's fairly classic, but it have charm. Well, I've always loved the Western setting. I am a huge fan of the Red Dead series from Rockstar, which was fantastic, and I still really hope in a sequel. So I was very keen into trying this after seeing that it got good reviews, even if it is mostly unknown as a game. That is, I suppose, mostly because Ubisoft is a really controversial company. They have very weird approach to business. They seem to be treating the customer in a very cold manner. They are very distant from their audience. Their serialization of franchises, the annual releases, it's things that gamers tend not to like very much, very often. But they sell, and they are good. Technically, they are really good. If we look at the latest release of Ubisoft, they rarely missed a hit, except maybe Watch Dogs that I didn't like very much. From the time of Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon, the new Raymans, there are absolutely fantastic games. The Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, Rogue, and Unity, even with the problem that Unity had, is still one of the best looking game on PC at the moment. And the latest patches corrected it heavily. They do good work. They are technically competent, and this game is really technically competent, but it have good writing as well. It's really peculiar. The whole story is narrated by our main protagonist, and he is a bit of a bullshitter. He is a liar. He keep exaggerating his feats, but the audience call him on that. The audience says, no, that's not possible. I know something went into another way, and that will change what you are playing in real time. The audience will notice that he said something, for example, of an Apache army that wasn't really there, and the Apache will transform into cowboys because he referred to Apache style attack. It's really pleasant. It's constantly changing. It's really engaging, really entertaining. The game per se is quite classic FPS. Arena, you walk around in this level, corridor, arena with enemies, kill all the enemies, go forward. There is not much of backtracking, but it is well done. The level have very good verticality. They are really nice, and the fact that there is a very limited amount of weapons. We're talking about 2 guns, 2 2 rifles and 1 sort of shotgun. Change the approach on the levels very much, because all the weapons have very different feelings to them. Also, according on how you kill your enemy, you get different points, which you will be able to spend on power-ups that will improve one weapon or the other and give you more abilities. Those things change completely your approach to the game. If you specialize into close combat, you're going to be specialized with the shotguns, which require to be very close to your enemies, a lot more sprinting, dodging. There is the specialization with the guns, which I absolutely adore. You can hold 2 revolvers at the same time, and oddly enough, it's not different the kind of trigger on the controller or on the mouse button. You don't shoot with 2 different buttons, but you still have the opportunity to aim with the 2 guns at once, and you shoot alternatively. Basically, having 2 guns change just the speed in which you shoot. You will be able to shoot faster, but you will take a longer time to reload. The life of the protagonist recover with time, like there is the generation of life, like in every modern shooter. And a lot of secrets are hidden around the place. They are called nuggets of truth. They unlock documents that you can read about real characters that existed in the Old West, and they are pretty pleasant. There is also a small bullet time function that you activate whenever you want. You have a bar that loads according on how you kill and how many points you do, and once you activate it, the very nice things about that is that all the enemies on screen will become glowing red, while the rest of the world will be in black and white. It's going to be really useful when there's going to be hidden enemies here and there, because the levels are vast. There is a lot of places to hide, and enemies will do that. They're not the smartest bunch. They won't be applying very complex technique to take you out. Grenades here and there, try to flank you a little bit, but nothing too extreme. But still, it's a really pleasant things to do, to go around and shooting them the old-timey Old West. It's really fun, real fun, and a game that really deserved more than it got. There are boss fights in the game. They change constantly. Every enemy have different approaches. There's going to be the boss that relies heavily on dynamite to kill you. There's going to be the enemy that relies on a stationary Gatling gun, and you'll have to conquer a hill, climb a hill while he's shooting at you. There's going to be several different things to try, different approaches to the level, high level of replayability for the game. It's really entertaining, really fun, and really underestimated. A game that I can't suggest enough, especially because now it's really cheap. You can find it on Steam for a very small amount of money. It came out also on PS3 and Xbox 360. As I was saying, it was released in 2013, so it's a couple of years ago. The game technical aspect is old. You'll see it. It's still pleasant, still playable, but is quite dated. Don't expect the level of graphic of a Killzone or a Crysis. It's not even the same style. The fact that this game have this different color palette and this different graphic make it easier to process, even if it's not top-notch level of textures and engine. I really suggest you guys to play it, especially if you are a Western fan. Give it a chance. You will be really pleasantly surprised by it. Not to forget, just a little side note, there are also the duels. One note is that there is a mode in the game that you will unlock that will allow you to just play duels, and they are quite fun. They're quite complex as well. You will have to manage the distance of your hand from your gun to increase the speed of the extraction, and keep your focus onto your enemy with the aim, which will give you a smaller distance from a kill shot when the extraction moment will come. They can be really tricky. Enemies are fast, really fast, and it's really fun to play it. So guys, that's all for Call of Juarez Gunslinger. I really can't suggest the game enough. It's really good. Okay, so we are at the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking it and share it. And if you want to see more of these videos, please subscribe. I will keep the channel as updated as I can. And for the moment, I wish you happy gaming and see you next time.